Hey Neil, thought I would try a video response since you're having so much trouble understanding me, and I do think it's probably because I'm doing a poor job in my text responses of communicating what I'm thinking. Not that I'm great with video responses, but I'll keep deleting these until I think I've got one that's clear. Not only do you appear to not understand what my objection or my response is generally, but specifically my response about the mental defect of arrogance that you appear to have, and the cure being unpleasant and perhaps even painful, and yet I would want you to experience it. You seem to be thinking that that's an unkind comment, a snide remark or whatever, and it's not. It's a sincere comment. It's just phrased. I tried to phrase it around your whole idea of mental defects and your ability to spot them, and how they can be obviously wrong and whatnot, and that you would want someone to be cured of it. Look, if you're just stirring the pot to get a reaction, good for you. If you really believe what you're saying, and if you really are the person the last 4 or 5 videos would seem to say you are, then there's an issue there, because you seem to, in good conscience, be able to lump together. I'm just going to use the numbers from some of your buddies there in the text response. Let's just say 88% of humanity. If you're able to lump together 88% of humanity and point your finger at them and say, I'm the authority and I'm capable of declaring you mentally defective. Right? Is that what you're calling it? Mentally defective? Broken. You can look at 88% of humanity, generalize that if they hold any kind of religious belief, that their mind is broken. Neo, come on now. That would qualify you, it seems to me, for the diagnosis supremely arrogant. Terminally arrogant. Now look, I'm joking now, but if you are arrogant, and I think you are, then I would want you. The only way I can imagine, the only cure I know of or can think of for arrogance is an unpleasant, perhaps painful experience, probably a traumatic, humbling experience, which could be no fun whatsoever, and yet I think arrogance steals from the quality of life. I would guess, that you've got relationships and you probably enjoy them and they're good, but people know arrogance, and so I would suggest to you that people have to make mental notes, and in their minds you're like, yeah, I like Neil for an arrogant so-and-so. He's a really nice guy. Or the girl, oh, he's so cute. He's a little bit of a pompous ass, but he's really, there's a price to pay for that. Here's another one, and you probably couldn't care less. And I'm not saying that people should pursue admiration, but you lose admiration with the type of video this one that I'm responding to, and several of your more recent ones. Now, you gain the applause of people that agree with you, or even if they just dislike the same group that you're going after, but that's different. People like me, who saw some of your earlier videos and disagreed with you perhaps, but respected the thoughtfulness, the arguments themselves, your presentation, we began to admire you. And then you make a video like this, and frankly, you lose that. And admiration is a sort of social capital. It has a value, even before you're aware that you have it, and it's a shame to waste it or squander it by through arrogance, by doing the kind of things you've been doing recently. So sincerely, I don't think it's any fun, but if I was arrogant, if I am arrogant, right? I'm not saying I'm not, but if I think about what I think you are, and if I said to myself, what would I want to happen to me if that was me? Hey, I would want the cure. I would want to be embarrassed, because I would not want to go around day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, associating with people, knowing I'm right about something, and everyone around me knows that I'm either wrong or that I'm certainly it's not a clear or obvious position. It's not clear or obvious that I'm as right as I think I am. So it was sincere. It wasn't meant to be a slam. If you're really the person you're coming off to be, I would hope that something would happen to help you think a little less of yourself and of your conclusions and your reasoning and that type of thing. Secondly, there's an issue whenever someone like the 12% are able to look at the 88% and declare them to have a flaw. Oh, in specifically, let me try to cut this short, and I'm going to tread on some dangerous ground here. Here's another problem with your video and your presentation and anyone who can come to reason or conclude like you have. You use words like intention and purpose for the results of evolution, which you would admit is completely unguided and unintended. Evolution has no desires, motives, guidance in your beliefs, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, and yet you will say that you can discern the intent and purpose of an organ, the brain, the mind, behaviors, these types of things. Well, that's really dangerous, buddy. Why in the world would someone like me, we already have a disagreement, you think I'm broken because I think there's a God, why would I trust you to cure me, and then where would we go from there? And here's one that I'll ask. I already know, and please try not to read it too much into my question, but if someone like you is able to see flaws in function as far as what evolution intended to be the function of the organ or the person or whatever, then where do you fall on homosexuality, Neil? I know you've presented a video that says it's obviously it's a naturally occurring phenomenon, but so are religious people. They're naturally occurring. So what you're saying is not all things that occur naturally are functioning or happening as evolution intended. Neil, you see where you're going? Do you see? You have no desire whatsoever to stay with this position you're chiseling out right now. It's just convenient for you because you want to attack any theists and religious people. So tell me about that, Neil. Tell me about how you would classify homosexuality, and I'd be interested in hearing you say that it's not, it wouldn't qualify for a self-proclaimed authority like you to say it's broken behavior. To not procreate, to not use your penis and vagina to create new healthy humans would be behaving in a broken manner and not using your organs in the way they were intended. And then, are you going to try to cure those people, Neil? I'm not. I think you're whack. I think, and you're not going to admit that your thinking would take you there. But wherever you point your little brocometer, who the hell are you, Neo, to tell everybody else who's broken and who should be fixed? You're arrogant and a little self-aggrandizing. And I hope you get the cure.